It is a hot one, and I figured I would make this video. Well, we're about to go hang some tree stands, and I want to show you guys some of the summer chores I've been doing for this upcoming deer season. But if you can't tell, this might be a little bit better quality than my phone. I finally invested in a camera, so I figured my first practice run with a camera. This is Editing Owen. Forewarning, there's a screen like right here next to the camera, and I have a horrible habit of looking at the screen like this when I'm supposed to be looking at the camera, and it bothers the crap out of me. I'm gonna try and get better at it, and I hope it doesn't bother the crap out of you. I don't even know how the audio sounds. It probably doesn't help that the air conditioning is blowing straight into the mic, but just splurged a little bit. You guys probably see Cabela's back there behind me, but splurged a little bit. Got some stuff like some bow hangers and stuff in the back of the truck. I got weed whacker, tree stand, stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you guys some of the chores we did and what we usually do on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis, just to keep the deer fed in the area, stuff like that. All right, I'm still trying to learn the ISO, frame rate, aperture, stuff like that. So if I'm a little bit dark at some points, oh, we're a little zoomed in here. I'm trying to learn the ISO, aperture. You know, you get a camera, you got stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to film. Like right now, I know I'm really dark because I'm in the shade, because I have it set for when I'm in the sun, but bear with me. Anyways, I figured I'd start us off here with my number one tip. And the thing we do most over the summer is just get cameras out and feed these deer with corn, mineral blocks, and then we put a little bit of deer cane on top of those mineral blocks. And I figured if the deer are fat and happy on our property, then they won't go to the neighbors. So anyways, we're gonna go check the camera and put all this stuff out. You can kind of see where the mineral block has been. You know, everything else is grass, and then it's just dirt where they've been kicking it up and stuff. You can even see hoof prints and holes where they've been looking at the ground. So that right there is about what the finished product looks like. Just a whole bunch of corn spread out, and then we put a little bit of deer cane right there on the dirt pile where the mineral block would be. But I'm balling on a budget. I ain't got enough money for another mineral block for a spot that's not producing as much. Now, I just traversed the Vietnamese jungle to get here, but this is another camera location for us. We got camera right there on the tree, and there is buck poop, buck prints. This whole area where the block was is kicked out. We made a mock scrape, and I'll get into kind of how we did that and why we did that in a little bit. But the stick is literally ripped out of the tree, so we know that this is a hot spot. Now, unfortunately, camera probably needs replaced. It ain't really working, but I can see the poop from does and bucks. Mineral blocks obliterated, so we know that once the corn comes down, because, well, you know, it's about a 3-yard shot, or you're not gonna see a deer. So once the corn comes down, or next year when it's beans, this is probably gonna be a very solid spot for us. This is when you know you're in the thick stuff and you start getting these suckers all over you. 1, 2. Any more? I'm sure we'll find them as we go. It's pretty hot. You guys can see me sweating, but I said I would talk about mock scrapes, and this year is our first year trying out mock scrapes. We haven't seen them, how they perform in the rut or stuff like that, but all we did was take piece of rope right there, you guys can see, we tied it to a vine, and then we kind of just raked out some dirt right there. You guys can see that, and the deer have been tearing it up, so we put it at waist height. For us, I think all it took was a ladder, and we just tied it off to a branch above there, and they come up, they bat it with their antlers, they sniff at it, they rub their eyes right here. They have glands. It's kind of how they like tell if any hot chicks are in the area. But so that is, I think we've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7 of those out. We try and put one in front of every stand, as well as a camera with corn and stuff like that. But we're gonna check this camera, and then up in that tree up there, you guys can see it, a little opening. We're gonna put our saddle for the year. Back on my phone, but we got a little bit, well, not a little bit, we got a lot of trimming to do, especially right here where we trimmed last year. It's turned into it's a whole nother tree. But this is the view, camera right there. Golf cart is over there with the mineral block and stuff. And check the camera, and we got pictures of Big Boy in here last night, so it's all looking good. I'm seeking refuge in the shade, but that is one tree stand down, and now we're going to set up the other one, which is not a saddle, it's actual hang on. But we're gonna make a pit stop because I have to change out the coil on the weed whacker. That way we can cut our way back to the other stand. Now, I would call that stand about 70% set up. All we have to do is just cut shooting lanes and cut an access path and rake the sticks out of the way. That way we're not making a whole bunch of noise trying to get into that saddle. All right, now that I am eaten alive by bugs and covered in poison ivy, finally got tree stand set up. You guys can see it up there. That was a little bit of a doozy because there were vines and stuff, and I hate those, but yeah, I'm covered in sweat and smell like crap, but we got our two stands set up for the day. I'm gonna show you guys the final thing I have been working on, and I'm pretty excited about. Let's go check it out. This last thing we've been working on, we do a little bit of research to figure out what the heck we're doing and what's best for this, but we decided to make a food plot in one of the cleared out bottoms here down by the creek. You can see right by the creek right there. And we decided upon clover because we're still in the woods, and you know, a lot of things need sunlight. Like buckwheat would have been a good option since it's a no-till food plot, but buckwheat needs a lot of sunlight. So clover is what I don't know, I researched and found that probably does the best without sunlight, and it's not even close to done, but it is growing. Let me show you guys real quick here behind the camera. Now you can tell where the cedar kind of went and didn't go, but we have more seeds and we're going to reseed. But I think for minimal sunlight, I would say that this clover is doing pretty well. We got a camera over there. We're thinking about putting a tree stand in that tree or that tree over there, depending on what happens. And then over here we also have another little mock scrape going on. So I haven't checked that camera. It's been out for about a week now. This is the first camera we put down here, and I'm excited to see what's on it. There's one of the videos there, just a mom and her fawn. But there is a decent amount of deer traffic here, which is pretty exciting. I got a video of a little fork sniffing the camera, getting all up on like this, but I'm kind of hoping that because there's a field up above this plot, that this will kind of be like a staging area. I know they go out there at night and eat. Hopefully this is a staging area because it's by bedding, it's protected, that we can get some deer in here in daylight. Maybe this is a doe spot, maybe it's not the big buck spot, but it will definitely be a deer spot. So we got to buy sand to put up in that tree. And finally, the last tip I have for you guys to make your summer successful for deer season is just shoot your bow. Now, I'm out at the range. It doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes a day, 2 hours a week, whatever you want to do, just make time to learn your bow. And a tip for shooting your bow is practice how you play. So I'm a big fan of practice how you play, and you guys will always see me wearing a bino harness when I'm at the range because I hunt with a bino harness on. So it makes sense for me to learn how to draw with a bino harness on instead of not wearing it, and then I go to draw on a big buck and it gets in the way and string gets caught on it and stuff like that. Finally, let's go sling some arrows. Tell you what, I knew that something was off. We were shooting too high and we moved the sight too high, so we started shooting low. I think we just got it dialed in there. If anything, just a tiny little scratch that way, but we'll take that grouping at 40. I have had issues with this same arrow all night, letter D. I label my arrows for stuff like this. So I tell you what, when it's go time and there's deer to be killed, I will not be letting arrow D fly. Well, I was gonna make this outro, but the camera died. Sounds like somebody just got shot. But like I said, just to recap, cameras, corn, mock scrapes, hang your tree stands early, get out there, feed those deer, make them want to be on your property. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Check me out on Instagram and TikTok at OKBassin. Somebody just got shot again. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.